all heard about the United Nations passing the resolution on Israel about the settlements and Israel's position in the Middle East and President Obama's determination to abstain. This, of course, this has become now President Obama's final foreign policy failure. His foreign policy has been a total failure, and this just kind of puts the whipped cream and cherry on top. It almost makes President Obama a fraud. He and his Secretary of State John Kerry, the Brahmin, the Boston Brahmin, who had money, married into Moore, and every time you buy ketchup made him even richer, so he could beg the Russians for peace in Syria as they destroyed the thug Putin and Assad destroyed hospitals and killed people wantonly, innocent people, and as John Kerry merrily ran around and talked about all the peace deals he made, and now we have this abstention, and I'm not taking a position on whether or not the abstention is right or not correct. That's not the issue here. The issue here is that President Obama, if he really believed this, shouldn't have done it 20-some days before he left. He should have done it a couple of years ago. He should have pushed this thing through, which he did now, and followed through on that as a policy and said, this is the United States policy, and I, as president, commander-in-chief, am pushing this policy through, and then he could have shown us what positives could have arisen out of this policy that he really believes could have happened. He and another one, and his advisor, Ben Rhodes, another one who has, is just a mouth, who's always wrong, and and has really been the man behind this foreign policy and a couple others. But the problem is that President Obama, if you really believed this, why didn't you do this 2 years ago? And we know why. He was totally backing Hillary. He pushed through the military procurement bill, all the money going to Israel, so it wouldn't hurt Hillary if he didn't make the deal. And he wasn't going to push this thing through and abstain if Hillary had won. He wanted this. He wanted Hillary to win. So in a fit of pique, what President Obama has now done is taken something now and proved himself to be a liar, because his position on supporting Israel to say, Israel should have known better. That's what Rhodes said, or Kerry says this is for Israel's own good. I always loved hearing my parents tell me it was always for my own good, and I'm sure everybody else did too. And the Brahmin, Boston Brahmin, and you sit there, and yet he only does it for 24 days and has no regard for the effect it's going to have. Now it's going to make President-elect Trump go even crazier. He's already nominated an ambassador. He's going to be appointing an ambassador to Israel who is really pro-settlement. His administration is kind of pro-settlement. But instead of leaving this issue open and vetoing it and letting the president-elect run with it, now he's going to be forced to be even more radical about it, more anti-UN, more even crazier about his position. Whether I don't mean crazy as bad, I mean more actively anti whatever the Palestinians are going to want. And this is on President Obama. I'm sure President Obama said, well, I'm not going to make my point. I don't like how President-elect Trump's been doing things, so I'm going to pump through all these new regulations, and now I'm going to change American policy, say I'm not, and then I'm going to disappear, because it's really easy to do when you have no responsibility for anything. It's really easy to change an American policy but have no responsibility for making that change. Just like when he said he was going to take us out of Iraq, he took us out and threw in more troops. He lied there. Just like when he said he was going to close Guantanamo Bay, he lied there. Just like when he drew the red line in Syria and over the bombs with the chemicals, he lied there and allowed the Russians now to walk in when he could have flattened their Air Force, not sent in anybody, and maybe this thing would have turned out a lot differently and a lot better. Like when he went into Libya and took out their government, and the whole place is still totally whacked out there and destroyed. Just a great president. And to do this before he leaves, to now leave us in a position, us as citizens, to have to see this. Now we're going to have to take more active engagement and who knows what the president-elect's going to do. All in a fit of pique, all obviously because he believed this years ago, but did not have the backbone to enforce and to push through that which he believed. President Obama turned into a real fraud when it came to foreign policy. How sad is this? But it'll be his legacy. He doesn't care. Just don't buy any more of his books when he comes out. Peace.